Hello everyone, now I'm sure you clicked on this video and wondered what's Waluigi got up his sleeves today. Well, I got myself a game concept. It's a little bit different than a prediction video or series because those have all been in well-established things like, Mario Kart. This, on the other hand, deals entirely with a Mario Kart game. I'm basing my inspirations for this potential game off of a game I've played a lot, which is Plants vs. Zombies Heroes. And that game itself is largely based on Hearthstone, games like that. So I'm going to share some of my concepts here. And if anyone at Nintendo is listening, please feel free to take my ideas. You don't even have to pay me, seriously. This is just a nerdy project I've been working on, so all I can say is I hope you enjoy. I am recording the next day because I realized I had screwed up with some of my ideas, but they're all fixed up now. So, much like PvZ Heroes or Hearthstone, you get to lead heroes into battle in this game. I picked 15 people to be heroes, and these 15 are some of the most important characters in Mario now, in my opinion. Maybe your 15 would be slightly different, but I don't think too different. So these 15 are Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Toad, Bowser, Donkey Kong, Wario, Waluigi, Rosalina, Daisy, Pauline, Toadette, Koopa Troopa, and Bowser Jr. Now, all of these heroes will lead two different classes into battle. Altogether, there will be 6 different classes, and the 15 heroes will represent the 15 unique combinations of the 2 different classes. So the first main class of cards in this game is Balanced. Now maybe that's boring, but these heroes would lead cards with well-balanced stats into battle because perfectly balanced is how things should be. The 5 balanced heroes would be characters that are typically considered balanced in Mario games, so Mario, Luigi, and Peach, as well as Koopa Troopa and Toadette. To be honest, I put Koopa Troopa and Toadette in there for lack of a better reason. Our next class is Tricky, and the heroes who use these cards are pretty troll-centric. Tricky cards lead stealthy minions all around the board and use surprise moves. So the tricky heroes would be Luigi, Toad, Waluigi, Pauline, and Bowser Jr. Now why these 5 is tricky, I don't know, I guess you can draw your own conclusions. Next we have the Hardy class. These minions are very heavy on offense and are built on aggressive attacks and boosting damage potential. So the guys in the Hardy class are all typical enemies in the Mario series and are all beefier characters with the exception of Koopa Troopa. So they are Bowser, Donkey Kong, Wario, Waluigi, and Koopa Troopa. Next we have the defensive class. Cards in the defensive class are minions with high health and they focus on healing. So our 5 defensive heroes are Peach, Yoshi, Rosalina, Bowser, and Daisy. Now why these 5? Well, Peach and Daisy have the heart power up and double dash, so the best offense for them is defense. Rosalina is the defender of the cosmos. As for Yoshi, he's defensive because he's your number 1 homie. And Bowser, well, he always keeps his castle defended with folks. So Bowser is simultaneously, he has the offensive and the most defensive classes as well. Is that broken? Well, that's up for Nintendo to decide. Next we have the Smarty class. These minions use tactical advantages to hurt their opponent. They're kinda like the Tricky class, but focus more on hurting the opponent than repositioning your minions. The leaders of the Smarty class are Mario, Donkey Kong, Rosalina, Pauline, and Bowser Jr. Now why these 5? Well, given that Mario is the traditional hero of the series, we'll say he's pretty smart. Donkey Kong is smart because apparently apes are some of the smartest animals. And Rosalina and Pauline both strike me as quite smart. And one is a mayor of a very large metropolis, and the other is the mother of the cosmos, so those are both pretty big responsibilities. And of course, Bowser Jr. tends to have all sorts of evil genius ideas. Now finally, we have the Thrifty class. In this game, the currency with which you spend your minions on is naturally coins. So the Thrifty class focuses on minions that can give you more coins and cheap, cost-effective minions. The 5 leaders of the Thrifty class are Yoshi, Toad, Toadette, Wario, and Daisy. Wario, his reason for being in the money-centered class, well, that's obvious. Toad is a banker of sorts with all his prize houses, so it makes sense that he's thrifty, as well as his girlfriend, Toadette. I don't know, are they supposed to be girlfriend? I don't know. Yoshi and Daisy, I don't know why they're thrifty, they just are. So, there's some basic information about our 15 heroes of the game. Now, what are some basic rules or guidelines for how the game is played? Well, here's a list of the 9 main rules. If you have other questions about what I think gameplay would look like, please feel free to let me know in the comments. Anyway, rule number 1. Each game is started with a coin toss. Whoever's face shows up on the coin, they play first. Keep in mind that in this game you actually want to play second because you can play reactively to the other hero. So in order to balance things out, the person who plays cards first changes after each turn. Now rule number 2. Every player has a deck of 40 cards. They can put a maximum of 4 copies of one card in. I took this idea directly from PvZ Heroes, I'm willing to admit it. Now each player starts out with 4 cards which you have the potential to swap out in the beginning. Again, I took this directly from PvZ Heroes. I feel like it really works though. Rule number 3. Coins, as I said, are the mana of this game, or the spending power. You start out round 1 being able to spend 1 coin, round 2 being able to spend 2 coins, 3 coins in round 3, and so on. Rule number 4. Now here's where things get real weird. Again, like PvZ Heroes, this battle will be lane-based. You play your minions in a lane and do battle in those lanes at the end of each turn. But lanes also expand as rounds go on, just as coins do. You only have 1 lane to play in round 1. That moves on to 2 lanes in round 2, 3 lanes in round 3, all the way up to 10 lanes in round 10. From there on out you have 10 lanes to play in if your game happens to even go on for that long. Rule number 5 is that each hero has 30 health, with the obvious goal being to dwindle the other hero down to 0. Minions that attack the hero directly will chip away at the hero's health. Minions who are going against each other attack each other at the same time during the battle phase at the end of each round. Rule number 6. There are 4 classes of cards: Basic, Silver, Gold, and Legendary. Now, if Nintendo makes this a pay-to-win mobile game, I could easily see this concept becoming horrible. But if it's actually a game you could get on the Switch, it would be great to earn rarer cards by, actually earning rare cards. Rule number 7. Minions are the main line of defense, but there's also activate cards in this game. They're basically what trick cards were in Plants vs. Zombies Heroes. They're a one-time use card and can be used to either help you or hurt the opponent. Rule number 8. Each hero gets 4 superpowers that cost 1 coin, which again is basically an idea I like from PvZ Heroes. They start out with 1 random one, then they get a superpower when they're dwindled down to 20 health, another superpower when they're down to 10 health, and one when they're down to 5 health. This means that when you're starting to hurt, a superpower can put you back in the game. There's 3 superpowers that belong exclusively to one class, whereas there's 1 that belongs exclusively to an individual hero. And that individual hero superpower, that's the one that's supposed to be OP. Now, rule number 9, and this is basically a rule that is not taken from PvZ Heroes, is that there's no block meter. Heroes can heal some of their 30 health with some cards, but other than that, a hit is a hit and it will take away health. I didn't like the RNG aspect of the block meter in PvZ Heroes, so that's a concept I didn't steal, I guess. So now I gotta show off some card concepts for a few classes before I end the video. Now let's start here with the Hardy class. Here's a batch of 8 cards I came up with. Now feel free to pause the video if you want to read all the details. And keep in mind that I came up with the Bowser Jr. card before I determined that he would be a hero, so yeah. And now the Thrifty class. Here's another 8 cards I came up with. So what are your thoughts on this potential game? What would you think of a game like Mario Kart Blast? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys next week. Sorry I didn't upload last week. I was visiting family, Easter break, but I will be back to weekly uploads, so bye-bye.